Opening statements in a sentencing trial.
All 17 were cold, calculated, and premeditated.
To determine if the Parkland shooter lives or dies. Prince Harry stepped down from royal service.
Here was a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders.
So why is he stepping up to the podium at the UN? And Barcelona crosses the Atlantic to play Inter Miami tonight. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Moises Pinel.
I'm Amanda Gray. Today's Tuesday, July 19th, 2022.
Live from the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Parents' pain visible in the courtroom as prosecutors played cell phone audio from the MSD school shooting. It's a sentencing trial for Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz.
As the network Danielle Tabera reports, the job is to decide if he gets life in prison or the death penalty.
You have been selected and sworn as the jury to try the case of the state of Florida versus Nicholas Cruz.
The penalty phase of the trial for Nicholas Cruz began Monday. He pled guilty to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder last October in connection with the 2018 shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
The murders, all 17, were heinous, atrocious, and cruel. All 17 were cold, calculated, and premeditated.
Prosecutors will present aggravating factors for the death penalty, while the defense will lay out mitigating circumstances.
The defense will preserve their opening statement.
More than 4 years later, the victims' families will get their day in court. They're expected to deliver impact statements amid the backdrop of other mass shootings.
This case must be tried by you only on the evidence presented during trial.
The sentencing trial is expected to last several months. The jury's decision must be unanimous for at least one of the 17 murder charges in order to convict Cruz with the death penalty. In Fort Lauderdale, Danielle Tabera, South Florida Media Network.
Uvalde, Texas, also reeling from a school shooting which killed 19 elementary school children and 2 adults. As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, security was a big topic at last night's school board meeting there.
Most of those kids were my friends.
Some students and parents in Uvalde, Texas say they're afraid of the return to school next month.
I don't want to go to your guys' school if they don't have protection.
That's from last night's board meeting of the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District.
2 times I went to the board to complain to y'all about school security.
We had people telling y'all that the doors didn't lock and y'all didn't do a damn thing about it.
The district says it will erect an 8-foot non-scalable fence around most of its schools. It says virtual learning is under consideration. Many parents are demanding the termination of the school district police chief. He was placed on leave last month.
If he's not fired by noon tomorrow, then I want your resignation and every single one of you board members, because y'all do not give a damn about our children or us.
That anger at law enforcement extends far beyond the school board meeting.
Our children were screaming of fear, and they did nothing but stand in the hallway and hear them.
And amid that anger, the grief and fear continue.
I sent Amory to school that morning thinking I was going to pick her up that day.
What are you going to do to make sure I don't have to wait 77 minutes bleeding out on my classroom floor just like my little sister did?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Lanes on Florida turnpikes are back open this morning after a strange shutdown caused by cows. It was yesterday near Orlando that when an 18-wheeler hauling a cattle caught fire. The driver was able to pull over and open the trailer so the animals could escape. The fire was extinguished and nobody was hurt, but the crew had difficult task of wrangling about 70 cows.
It's game day for Inter Miami CF as FC Barcelona has landed in town for their upcoming international friendly match tonight. Barcelona's players arrived in Fort Lauderdale over the weekend, including their new star signing Robert Lewandowski, who arrived from German giants Bayern Munich. The 2 teams will clash tonight at Drive Pink Stadium at 8 p.m.
History this morning for the famous Blue Angel Squadron. The elite demonstration team, which is based on Pensacola, just announced the first female pilot. The new pilot, Lieutenant Amanda Lee, will first need to complete a 5-month training program with other U.S. Navy initiates. The important to note is that Amanda Lee is the first Blue Angel pilot. Other women have served the team in other roles.
An emu at a farm in South Florida becomes a terror for technology.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
We've also come to know him through the photographs of a person who, even when confronting unimaginable cruelty and injustice, almost always had a smile on his face.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex takes the trip to New York to make a speech at the United Nations. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
You really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The world stage for Harry and Meghan at the United Nations. Prince Harry delivers an emotional speech to mark Nelson Mandela's International Day.
It was yesterday at the UN. His wife, Duchess Meghan, was by his side. The British royal urges people to stay hopeful in the face of wars, climate change, a pandemic, and decisions around constitutional rights.
In our own time, a time of global uncertainty and division, when it's all too easy to look around and feel anger or despair, I've been inspired to go back to Mandela's writings for insight into how this could be. How he could experience so much darkness and always manage to find the light.
The Duke of Sussex highlights his visit to Africa at age 13 with his mother and how it influenced his views on world peace and healing.
A local iPhone-hating emo has taken over TikTok, pecking his way to fame. The account for South Florida Knuckle Bum Farm was created to show off the owner miniature cattle, but it's Emmanuel, the emo, who has gone viral. While Taylor Blake tries to make a video, Emmanuel attacks Taylor's iPhone. Taylor has tried to get this rebellious emo to settle down, but it seems he cannot handle the iPhone.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Amanda Gray.
And I'm Moises Pinnell. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.